Our Region's Business is sponsored by PNC for the Achiever in You. Our Region's Business, improving our economy, creating jobs, and strengthening communities. Innovation, collaboration, transformation, and the people making it happen. Join us as we take a closer look at our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, we'll talk higher education and leadership with the women in charge of a college and 2 universities in our region, Washington and Jefferson, Carlo and Seton Hill. But first, unlocking the secret to equitable growth in our region. A nonprofit organization called PolicyLink has been working with community leaders in Pittsburgh to develop strategies to make sure that everybody who lives here has the opportunity to participate in the new economy and community that's being created. PolicyLink recently released its report. Sarah Treuhaft is here to talk about it. She's Director of Equitable Growth Initiatives. Bill Generett's back with us, President and CEO of Urban Innovation 21, and Presley Gillespie is President of Neighborhood Allies, 2 organizations that helped make this happen. Welcome. Good to have you all here.
Great to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess I'm going to start, Bill and Presley, with you. Why now? Why was it important to take this kind of look at development in Pittsburgh at this point in time?
Well, I think we all have really come to the recognition that, Pittsburgh is a city on the rise. When you look at the mid, the techs, and all of the other growth that we're seeing, we realize that that growth is not sustainable if we don't have an opportunity for all to benefit, all to participate, and all to prosper. And I think what we're realizing now is not just a moral imperative, it's an economic imperative that really will tend to threaten our vitality, our resiliency, and our economic long-term prosperity. So now is the time, because there's not going to be a better time for Pittsburgh to really dig into these very important issues.
Yeah, Bill, there's been a lot of talk about East Liberty in particular, and certainly the displacement, if not the gentrification of the neighborhood. But concern, and we heard it when the report was announced, about some of the neighboring communities, about what's ahead for them. Part of this as well?
Sure, definitely. I think one of our challenges is making sure that 30% of the folks in our region who are connected to our economic transformation are connected. And as Presley said in this PolicyLink, says across the country, this is not just about equity, although it's not just a moral imperative. It's also about our region's continued viability. We can't have 30% of our people not connected and think that we're going to continue on this growth trajectory.
Yeah, so Sarah, how do you begin to get your arms around a challenge like this and sort of figure out what strategies are right for Pittsburgh?
Well, it requires a lot of conversations with community leaders, and so we engaged nearly 200 community leaders in this process. We held a workshop to create a shared definition of equitable development. I think you were there, Bill.
I think, and some of my colleagues from the Allegheny Conference sat in on a couple of them as well.
Yeah, we interviewed about 20 key leaders, decision makers in the community, the mayor, leaders in the foundation community, community-based organizations, business leaders, to really talk to them about the challenges and the issues and the opportunities. And so then we came together and had working groups to talk about the action agenda. So it's been an 8-month process of developing this report.
Okay, so the report's out. So what are the big takeaways, or the big to-dos, I guess, for the community?
Yeah, so we recommend 5 action areas. One is around the development process itself. So how do you ensure, as new development is taking place, that is inclusive and equitable? So looking at local hiring, contracting with minority and women-owned businesses, ensuring that there is no displacement of low-income residents. So making the development process itself equitable. Number 2, it's looking at neighborhoods and ensuring all neighborhoods have high levels of opportunity, transit, good schools, safe streets, parks, all the things that enable residents to thrive. So that's about affordability and many other things in terms of neighborhood opportunity. The third is around expanding employment and business ownership opportunities. The fourth is around institutions and how they can advance equity, businesses and government. And then the fifth is around community power, voice, and capacity to move all of these things forward.
Okay, so those are the 5 sort of to-dos that could really make a difference. Anytime you look at a list like that, there's always sort of the low-hanging fruit, and then there's the tough challenges. So we've only got a couple of minutes left, but I wonder, Bill and Presley, what do you, a little bit of both. What do you think we could tackle very quickly and make a big difference? And what are we all going to have to realize it's going to take some work to make this happen?
Well, I think one thing is exciting. The Heinz Endowments really supported this from the beginning, and they have their P4 conference, and one of the things they're looking at is what are the requirements that developers that need public funding should have to get that funding. So really the heart of this is, how do we make sure those precious government dollars that we have when they go into real estate projects, they have some benefit for the community at large. And I think really piggybacking off of what is already being done, because there's great stuff that's being done.
So take advantage of the momentum that's already there, but just make sure the policy strings are appropriate to make sure the development gets done the right way. Okay, so that's a fairly easy, not easy necessarily, but one we can tackle right away. How about on the bigger challenges we've got to deal with?
The bigger challenges, I would say, are to really find those key champions across our city and across our region to really help us identify the resources, identify the will. I mean, we certainly have political will. We have a great transformational mayor. We've got great council, county government. But we need those champions both in the nonprofit sector, the private sector, the corporate sector, and really that larger institutional sector like healthcare, the eds and meds, the universities, and the anchors. So I think finding those champions in the anchors that are spending billions of dollars a year to really get them to champion these efforts and this cause to make sure that, again, that prosperity is shared and those economic opportunities are made available for everyone to benefit from.
Wow, well, we've just scratched the surface. The report's called Equitable Development, The Path to an All-In Pittsburgh. I assume it's available online, or people, and this is just the executive summary, and the actual report I think is probably a little deeper. So where can people find it? How do they get a copy?
You can go to www.policylink.org. allincities/Pittsburgh.
All right, very good. Well, it's an exciting opportunity and an important issue, and we've got a lot of folks in our region who have been left behind by a great story of success. And it would be nice in the future to make sure everybody goes along for the ride, right?
Absolutely.
So we appreciate it. Sarah Treuhaft from PolicyLink, Bill Generett, Urban Innovation 21, Presley Gillespie from Neighborhood Allies. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, a few secrets of success from 3 women who've risen to the top of higher education in our region. Stay with us.